Deep in the forests of Louisville, Kentucky, stands the infamous Waverly Hills Sanatorium. Built in 1910 to treat tuberculosis patients, this decaying hospital is said to be one of the most haunted places in America. Over 63,000 people died within its walls, and their tormented souls never left. Visitors report hearing phantom coughs echoing through the halls, remnants of TB patients who suffocated to death. Some have seen the ghost of a nurse hanging from the rafters in room 502, where she took her own life. Others swear they've been touched by unseen hands in the body chute, a tunnel where corpses were secretly disposed of. In 2018, a group of urban explorers ventured into the sanatorium's abandoned fifth floor, where the worst TB cases were kept. Their cameras captured something impossible: a door slamming shut on its own, followed by the sound of a child giggling. Even though no children were ever treated at Waverly Hills, one investigator later claimed to have seen a small, pale face peering from a broken mirror before it dissolved into the darkness. Then there's the infamous creeper, a shadowy entity often spotted crawling along the ceilings, its limbs bending at unnatural angles. Those who've seen it say it moves faster than anything human and watches with hollow, hungry eyes. The most chilling account came from a skeptic in 2020 who spent a night alone in the morgue. He later described hearing slow, wet footsteps dragging toward him, accompanied by the smell of rotting flesh. Just as he turned to flee, his flashlight died, and something grabbed his ankle, leaving behind 5 frostbitten finger marks. Even now, locals swear that on foggy nights, the distant sound of coughing and weeping drifts from Waverly's broken windows. Some say the building itself is alive and angry. Others warn that the spirits don't just want to be heard, they want company. So tell me, do you still think ghosts aren't real? Or will Waverly Hills Sanatorium make a believer out of you just before it swallows you whole? In 2012, a paranormal investigator captured an EVP whispering, "Get out." Others have recorded shadow figures darting through the halls. The most terrifying encounter? A full-bodied apparition of a skeletal patient crawling toward a team of explorers before vanishing into thin air. To this day, Waverly Hills remains a hotspot for supernatural activity. Many believe the spirits of the dead are still trapped inside, reliving their final agonizing moments. Would you dare to step inside and risk never coming out? In 2021, urban explorers broke through a boarded-up section of the morgue and found a hidden chamber. The walls were covered in strange symbols, etched in what looked like dried blood. In the center stood a rusted gurney, its restraints torn apart from the inside. The air smelled like burnt hair and rotting meat, and every recording device they brought malfunctioned, except one. When they played it back later, the audio was filled with guttural growls and a voice whispering, "They're not suffering anymore, because we fed them." Then there's the basement. Locals avoid talking about it, but construction workers in the 1950s reported finding a network of tunnels beneath the sanatorium, tunnels that didn't appear on any blueprints. Some led to empty rooms with chains bolted to the floors. Others ended abruptly, the walls scratched raw as if something had clawed its way out. The most disturbing detail: fresh footprints in the dust, barefoot, child-sized, and always leading deeper into the dark. In 2023, a paranormal team investigating the basement vanished overnight. Search teams found their cameras still rolling, batteries inexplicably at full charge. The footage shows them screaming about things in the walls before their lights flicker, and something pulls one of them into a vent, his body folding in ways that shouldn't be possible. The last frame? A single word scrawled in blood on the lens. Run. Now, the state has sealed the building. No more tours, no more ghost hunts. But people still hear things, knocking from inside boarded-up windows, shadows moving behind shattered glass. And sometimes, at exactly 3:17 a.m., the time the last TB patient died in 1961, the old emergency lights flicker on, as if something inside is waking up. So the question isn't, is Waverly Hills haunted? It's, why are the spirits getting stronger? And more importantly, what do they want with the living?
The town of Blackwood had one rule: never go near the old asylum after dark. Built in 1893, Blackwood Psychiatric Hospital was shut down in 1972 after a series of incidents the police refused to document. The files were burned, the doctors vanished, but the children kept disappearing. The first missing child. In 1985, 8-year-old Tommy Fisher wandered too close to the asylum's rusted gates. His parents found his shoes neatly placed at the entrance, the laces tied together, just like the hospital's old restraint techniques. A week later, his voice was caught on a hunter's tape recorder. They made me count the cracks in the ceiling, but the cracks were moving. Patient 0. In 1978, Dr. Velis's personal journal recorded his final entry. The children aren't sick, they're changing. Their bones crack like twigs as they reshape themselves. This morning, I found Sarah Holloway folded into her own locker, her spine tied in perfect knots. She was still breathing. The next page was just a child's handprint in something dark and sticky. The Explorer's tape. In 2016, urban explorers broke into Blackwood. Their footage shows Room 17, a padded cell with tiny handprints in blood, spelling help backward. The basement, a chair with straps chewed through from the inside. Final clip. One explorer whispers, "Why are there so many shoes down here?" before something grabs his leg. The camera falls, showing a pale, elongated figure crawling toward him, its mouth stitched shut with wire. The 2021 disappearances, 3 teens snuck in last October. Search teams found phone video, a shadow dragging one girl into a wall. Her last words, "It's not a hospital, it's a hive." The survivor, the only one found, curled in a fetal position in the morgue, muttering, "They're hungry again." What's really inside? The director's journal, found in 1999. Patient 0 is not human. It mimics, it learns. We fed it the violent ones first, but now it prefers the quiet ones. The 3 a.m. phenomenon. Locals report hearing children's laughter from the asylum at exactly 3:07 a.m., the time the last orphan was admitted in 1971. Last warning. A paranormal investigator entered last month. His livestream showed a hallway stretching impossibly long, a door marked playroom creaking open to reveal small figures with blacked-out eyes, a final whisper, "They're behind you." Before the feed cut to static, authorities found his camera in the woods, covered in bite marks from the inside. Now, Blackwood Asylum stands empty again. But if you listen closely at night, you can hear it. The sound of something scraping against the walls, counting down. 5 little children, 4 little children. The whispering walls of Blackwood Asylum. The first thing you notice isn't the smell, though God knows you'll never forget that stench of rotting medicine and spoiled meat. It's the sound, a wet, clicking noise coming from inside the walls, like something with too many teeth is licking its lips in the dark. They called it a hospital. They lied. The town of Blackwood had 3 rules. Never answer when the asylum's windows rattle at 3:07 a.m. Never look back if you hear a child crying from its direction. Never, ever go inside to retrieve what's calling you. The incident reports, classified. October 31st, 1987. Local boy Jamie Whitaker, age 9, reported seeing shadow kids playing jump rope near the asylum gates. His description matched 6 children missing since 1954. When investigators arrived, they found the jump rope, still swinging by itself, the handles tied to nothing. June 2001. Thermal imaging of the basement revealed 17 heat signatures clustered in one room. The team entered to find only a single rusted wheelchair, with 17 small handprints pressed into its wheels. Why the children? The asylum's founder, Dr. Abram Velis, believed juvenile minds could be reshaped into perfect psychic conduits. His 1943 notes describe harvesting laughter to power something in the building's foundation. The current police chief's daughter claims the laughing she hears at night is her own voice. Last warning. The Blackwood Town Council voted to demolish the asylum last month. The wrecking crew found every piece of machinery coated in tiny bite marks. Their foreman disappeared after reporting kids playing tag in the rubble. His work boot was found nailed to the asylum's front door, with his foot still inside.